Hi, this is Antonio from Astro UCD, and I'm here with a final year student from UCD School of Physics, and we are at Teide Observatory using the IAC80, observing different kind of optical objects from blazars, nebula, exoplanets, asteroids, galaxies, and we decided it could be a good idea to give you a small tour on how we do things and how we operate in a day-to-day basis. So behind you we have the living room, where we have some sofas to relax after observations, where we have tables and whiteboards where we can it's a place to discuss and schedule the observations. Over here, this is the control room. I'll show it to you later, and let's go first to see the telescope itself. So careful, David, with the stairs. So at the moment we cannot be observing because there's a lot of wind. Maybe you can hear there's a lot of noise, and that's the wind crashing on the dome. So this is the main telescope. It's an 82 centimeter telescope, where we have here the CCD that we use for our observations, and the filter wheel where we can select what kind of filters we can do, what kind of observations we want to do. Over there you have the logo of the Institute of Astrophysics of the Canaries. And as you can see, probably you could hear, there's a lot of wind around us, so for that reason everything is closed, and we're just hoping to get some observation time tonight. Let's go down, be careful again. So we will go down now to the control room, where we control the whole telescope, and we can do the actual observations. Over here we have Tian. He already finished his observations early on the week. What can you tell us about this?
So at the moment I'm making false colour images of Thor's helmet. This is using oxygen filters, sulfur filters and hydrogen alpha filters. So I have a few more to do, but it's going well so far.
Really nice. And over here we have Rory controlling these two monitors. So what can you tell us about them?
Well, this monitor here basically tells you all the basic information of the telescope and what it's doing at the minute. In the middle we have where it's pointing our in deck, and this is kind of the most important part of it, where it tells us about the dome and the mirrors and whether they're open or closed. So at the minute you can see the ventana, which is the upper shutter on the dome, is at 60 degrees, which means it's fully closed. And the reason that Antonio probably said already is because the wind is too high. And we can see that down here, it's about 42 kilometers an hour at the minute, and it's just not safe to open the dome. And over here, this basically is what controls the telescope. So we have a load of different menus, and if we want to point the telescope, we can go into this menu, which has the UCD catalogue from last year and this year. So we have a list of all our objects, and it's pretty simple. You just press enter and the telescope points, and you can see it moving then on this monitor over here. And yeah, you can basically control the opening and closing of the shutters, the mirrors, and basically all the important stuff from here.
Thank you very much. So now we know how to point, but it's not only important to point, but to track. And to track properly with this telescope, we have these two monitors, and David can tell us a little bit about it.
As you would have seen upstairs, the telescope is very large. It's an 80 centimeter diameter telescope, and for that reason you see very deep into the sky. And with the rotation of the Earth over the course of a few hours, the star field will drift substantially. So it's very important to track the star field and ensure that your target star or your target object is always within frame and generally doesn't drift. So the screen on the left here has the field of view of the telescope in green, and the field of view of a smaller tracking CCD in blue. And so the blue screen is mirrored on the right hand side, and essentially you find a bright star in the field of view of the blue, hit tracking, and then it automatically tracks the field of view of your target object for the course of your observation, which could be a couple of hours, and clearly that's very important.
Okay, so now that we have the telescope pointed and tracking is on, we have to actually send the commands to do the observations, and Orla is here now controlling this monitor. What can you tell us a little bit about it?
This is the computer that takes the images, so from here we can control the filter wheel and the exposure time, and we can see the air mass and the time that the source is visible, and we can change the focus of the stars on that.
Okay, so very important, and to know if the data that we have taken is right or wrong before we go back to Dublin, we have this a monitor, and at the moment Daniel is doing some stuff. So what are you doing?
I'm just looking at a picture of M51, the Whirlpool galaxy, which I took last night. This is a 5-minute exposure in the blue filter. And I'm just going from star to star, just making sure that nothing's saturated, and just making sure that they're in focus, because if the wind dies down, I might be able to take another image before the sun rises. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And the person behind the camera is David Murphy, and he also did some analysis yesterday when he has his results around here. So what can you tell us about it?
This is asteroid 29 Amphitrite. It's currently in opposition, which means that it's on the opposite side of the Earth to the Sun, which means it's really great for observations. So these images were taken over a couple of hours last night, and you can see that it's moving pretty obviously against the background stars.
Okay, very nice. And if we have any problem during the night, we have a technical operator. If we have any problem, we just knock the door, we say, hello, please, can you come? And they're very nice, they always help us. But luckily, I mean, we haven't had many problems. So hopefully you liked the video and the small tour, and you got a little bit impression of what we do, how we do things, and our night to night day life here. So nothing else to add, and we wish you clear skies, and thank you for watching.